When the first plane hit, we were not aware of it because there was a building in our way. We were working in Newark, New Jersey at Penn Station. Somebody happened to mention to us that a plane hit the building, so we walked a block or two to go look at the skyline. You could see the skyline from many miles away. And that's when we noticed there was smoke coming out of one of the World Trade Center buildings. So we all hung up the phone right away, and we just looked at each other. We said, all right, we're going back to work. We now realize this was not an accident. It was a terrorist attack. Last week, I met up with the chief of the fire department and his executive officer, and her and I spoke, and she said, I wonder how many more years from now they're going to let us have this, the morning hours on September 11th for the families to come down and grieve. What you're going to start to see is the parents of the people who died. They're going to start to die. I'm sure the parents of the members are maybe 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. So that's going to be the next maybe decade or 2 decades where the parents are going to die, and then the widows, and there'll be the next generation that starts to pass away, and then you can't forget about the kids, because the kids are the youngest. Some are not even born yet. I would say New York City in general got tight as a family, just from the civilians to the firefighters, the police officers, the paramedics and EMTs. Everybody was just one big family. Didn't matter who you were, who you knew, who you didn't know. We were all working together, side by side. I have a routine every year that I like to do. I want to be there at the Trade Center before the first tower falls at 9:59 for the moment of silence. I stayed there till about 12:30 this year, which is my normal routine. And then from there, I always go to a luncheon at the rescue company that I was working with for the next few weeks on that day. And probably by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody's emotionally drained. And that's like a little celebration to remember everybody. And as you saw, it turned into a big family. Everybody was singing that night together.